Hello guys and welcome here to the Join Total League Season 13 Division Number 2 American Region. Woo! What an intro! What an intro! We're watching this Division 2 to check out some of the Tier 2 teams, Tier 2.5, however you want to call them. They're up and coming in the Dota 2 scene. Watching some of those teams that might have, might become the new talent that we're going to watch soon in majors and minors. Hopefully that is the case for some of these guys. For sure, though, let's check out this match. It's a best of 3 between Started from the Bottom and Hellhounds. A best of 3, which started from the bottom, has started quite well. So they're not actually starting from the bottom, but from the top. Haha. Yeah, I guess there's no other way of saying that. I was trying to make a more complex joke. Doesn't matter. They managed to get the first win against Hellhounds quite convincingly, actually. They destroy Hellhounds against when they were playing a pushing lineup, and now they're trying to get that second win secured for themselves as well. My name is DSwordfish. I'll be your caster for today. Hope you enjoy the cast. Let's get right into it, shall we? And by the way, for anyone that's missed the first match and wants to watch it for whatever reason, you're a big fan of Start from the Bottom, I will be posting these to my YouTube later. So feel free to follow me on Twitter. There's a YouTube link there, and you can actually check out the videos of the actual matches. Okay, let's check out Start from the Bottom versus Hellhounds now. Axe and Scarlet Mage are the choices for Hellhounds, already a pretty well-known combination. Axe with the Berserker's Call, Scarlet Mage with that Mystic Flare. You're almost certain to kill, well, anyone, really. Any support with not much HP going on for them, even a weaker off-lane or mid-laner. It kind of closes the draft for Start from the Bottom to try to get at least heroes that can withstand a fair amount of punishment, and Beastmaster's a perfect one for this. A high strength hero that starts out with a nice HP pool as well, has creeps to divide the damage of that Mystic Flare between them. That's also a huge point in favor of Beastmaster, and he's able to easily grab a Blade Mail and destroy the Scarlet Mage himself. It's a cheap item that anyone can really farm. In addition to his creeps being really useful to stop at stopping the Axe stun at times, right? You can either go from far away, try to primal roar the Axe and make sure that he doesn't get a Berserker's Call off, or alternatively get a Centaur close to him and make sure to stun him out so he can't run away with those taunted heroes. Beastmaster in general, just a pretty good hero as well for that split pushing tactic, which allows you to evade Axe to some degree. And it should work well with Willow in a 2-1-2 setup to play relatively aggressive with these lanes. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I hope actually they do that specifically. So let's see what else they pick up for Start from the Bottom. I don't think a pushing lineup is in order, but certainly a Shadow Shaman would not hurt here. It works well with Dark Willow in these kind of position 4-5s that both need a bit of farm, but not too much. So you're not wasting either one of them in that position. You also have the Shadow Shaman, of course, with a bit of pushing power. That's the Beastmaster. The Hex is fantastic against Axe. And he is a relatively high HP support for what a intelligence support might offer. In addition, take advantage of Scarlet Mage, a low armor, and relatively low or easy way to catch him by using the Shackles, of course, right? So you destroy the Scarlet Mage as soon as you can. With that combination of abilities, of course, you can always burst them down, and that always gives you a bit of an advantage as the Shadow Shaman. DK is the choice for Hellhounds for now, though, as they prepare themselves for a Beastmaster Primal Roar hit. Obviously, anyone that can take a fair amount of punishment is fantastic against a Primal Roar. There's also the possibility in the situation that they're going for a, Actually, no, yeah, I was going to say an Abaddon, but no, because the Axe has already picked us the offlaner. So yeah, the Dragonite is probably the best way to go. Maybe perhaps a Morphling as the other option or something like that to try to go for these really tanky heroes that can withstand a lot of damage after being stunned out. The Lifestealer is a choice for Start with the Bottom. It does seem like this pick to some degree is the comfort pick. I have not much watched these guys, and I don't actually know what their comfort picks are, but it does seem like that would be the idea, just because they pick Lifestealer a lot, not always in the best situations. In this situation, actually works really nicely, though. Eats through the Axe because of his low armor, high HP, except when his Berserker's Calling. Has enough HP to withstand the Axe Berserker's Call anyway, and the Rage saves him from the Scarlet Mage and his Mystic Flare. He himself is not too concerned about the Dragonite. Clockwork will make it a bit harder actually to live as Lifestealer this time, but you can also tear through the Clockwork's defenses rather easily. So I actually quite like this pick. And the combination of the Tusk this time with the Dark Willow will actually threaten the lanes considerably. Tusk with Lifestealer is quite strong. and ensuring the axe can actually not play freely, because the second the axe the second that the axe oversteps his boundaries in the lane, he pushes a bit too far, and he tries to go for, say, a creep skipping technique. The ice shards will stop him right in his tracks. The snowball will ensure he can't get anything besides, beyond the Berserker's Call up. And the lifestealer, of course, would also help bring down the axe with both his magical and physical damage. Let's not forget that the option always exists for a lifestealer with Radiance to really take down the axe if he was becoming a huge threat. So start from the pot, I'm already starting quite nicely. I actually quite like what they're drafting this time. Whereas Hellhounds, I see what they're going for. Obviously, taking a huge advantage of Skyrath Mage with the Clark and the Axe. Even the Dragon Knight, he's the main source of damage right now, which is a bit bad. Perhaps you would add some damage to your carry. Something along the lines of, a CK, honestly, here looks quite good for Hellhounds. Takes advantage of all this single target that they have to, just burst enemies down and take down towers quickly. Is a counter to Lifestealer. Does not get too bothered by Beastmaster, and it's only Dark Willow that's really gonna bother him. And I guess something good at Tusk. But I would particularly like to see the CK. The Ursa's not bad either, considering you have a fair amount of slow and stun, or some sort of catch, I guess, in the sense of cogs, which are a bit of a pseudo catch. And now with the Viper, Ursa becomes a bit better. But I'm a bigger fan of the CK in this situation. Both CK, Ursa, and Troll Warlord are actually quite good picks. Troll Warlord a bit weak against the Beastmaster, though. The CK is my favorite here. The Ursa perhaps second, because of course you will need Ags to really deal with the Primal Roar, and that's not too great. And the Ice Shards are quite annoying. Whereas CK reality rips and kills whatever he sees. And brings another stun to the table, which is always great. The Viper's not too bothered by stuns, not too bothered by magical damage either, but Skyrath Mage, so you lose a big bout of damage there as Hellhounds, and dominates the mid lane against Dragon Knight, also takes away his passive with another Toxin, able to stop his regen from coming through. So the ganks with the Tusk and Viper actually are able to kill the Dragon Knight, which is fantastic. Ice Shards into another Toxin, plus the Viper damage, the poison attack damage, should be almost always enough to kill Dragon Knight. Now let's see, though, what the CK does. Sorry, what the Hellhounds do, if they're really going to pick up that hero. I find it to be rather obvious. The Sven is another option as well for Hellhounds, but you already have area damage in the form of Dragon Knight, and it's not like Sven is particularly good here, especially against the Beastmaster. It's just that, you see the Lifestealer, you see the Viper, you're looking for that burst physical damage, so honestly, any hero that provides that to some degree is going to be okay as a pick here. I suppose you could even go for something a bit weirder, like a Luna. Not a big fan of that, though, either. Let's see what the Hellhounds will decide to pick up here. Troll. You know what? Out of the choices that I said, I still think he was the worst. Now with the Viper, even worse, I would say. And you'll be like, wait, why? Because that Viper makes it so that Troll Warlord will lose his bash in the middle of another Toxin, because it's of course a passive, in addition to another extra passive movements or passive bonuses he gets with that melee form. So another Toxin actually quite crushes him. He also loses the Fervor. Not the stacks itself, but he can't stack more Fervor. So he doesn't go in. If he goes to another Toxin without Fervor, then that actually screws him over. I mean, the Viper's a great pick here, but I find that Troll Warlord seems more of a comfort pick here for Hellhounds. Both Ursa and CK would have done his job much better in not being so crushed by the enemy team. The Troll Warlord does offer a bit more pushing power, which I guess is a plus. But since you're up against a Lifestealer and a Viper, you're not too concerned about winning early. You can win late, and I mean, against these two heroes, they don't have great late game capabilities. So CK would have actually fulfilled that job better. And an Ursa would have actually done pretty well against the... I mean, the Ursa doesn't do that well against the Viper, considering the items he does get, so that's some consideration to be made. But by that logic, neither does the Troll, right? So the Ursa usually peaks earlier than the Viper, like slightly earlier, because Blink Dagger... So, again, this is a lot of theory crafting, but let's say you're the Viper. The Viper usually plays with a Hurricane Pike. It's very common, especially if you have something like a Troll Warlord or Ursa, to go for that Hurricane Pike early, right? Dragonlance to Hurricane Pike. Gracias por cierto, X63ZX. Un placer tenerte aquí. So you want to go for the Hurricane Pike with the against the Troll, sorry, or the, I want to say even the DK. You want that space. It's quite useful on you. Before the Yasha, even the Maelstrom, a lot of Vipers grab. So the issue here, of course, is that you're going to go for that anyway. So who does it hurt the most? Obviously, it hurts Ursa much more than it hurts the Troll Warlord. And that Viper Strike is lethal, right, against the Ursa as well, especially. So the Troll Warlord does have a bit of an advantage there, especially because he comes with a stun. And he's offer some control against Lifestealer, and I would argue that maybe the Troll is a bit better against Lifestealer than Ursa, though not by much. However, the CK offers all these things, including a stun that actually stops the Viper in his tracks, so you can use the Hurricane Pike in time, but was not picked up here for no reason. Other than perhaps... No, because I was also thinking, like, you have the axe, right? So you have the one hero that can actually deal with the CK. I don't understand why they didn't pick the CK. I think it was actually the perfect pick here. It seemed like a really good, too good to be true draft. So, I kind of hope Start from the bottom win, because they deserve to, just because of the drafting stage. Let's see. Jay will pick up all Bandit Runes. That's pretty nice for Jay. Starting out well this game. And we'll look at the lanes, right? I actually have not spoken too much about the team, sorry, so let's present it really quickly. Sorry about that. I should probably present Start from the bottom, starting out with them. My name is DSwordfish. I'll be your caster for today, by the way. Hope you enjoy. And we're going to have here the Tusk played by Shadow in the support position. The second support... Oh, hey, actually, are they harassing? No. Second support being Keelan as the Dark Willow. And actually going for the Tusk. Trying to hurt him. And the Dark Willow at the same time. The stun might stop the Dax, but will not stop the Scarlet Mage from TPing away. So he's only saving Keelan for now. Going for Curse Crown level 1 is also not that great, to be honest. They can still kill Samurai, though, if he puts himself in a bad position. Does only have, like, a very weak Battle Hunger level 1. So, yeah, the carry of the situation is going to be a Lifestealer played by Adzantik. Here's the mid laner, a Viper played by Chubble. And finally, it's the off laner, a Beastmaster played by Jay. As for Hellhounds, we have Rolf on the Troll Warlord in the carry position. First support being the Scarlet Mage played by Doggo. Second support being the Clockwork played by Kane. In the off lane, Samurai and Neox as the Axe. And finally, in the mid lane, ATK played by Born. And of course, everyone knows that these guys come straight from Brazil. So trying to ride that new wave of Brazilian players, hope to become the next paying gaming, or at least SGs, at least minus Club Elite. You know, like you're really not aiming that high right now. Samurai, the target of aggression now, but nice Battle Hunger actually puts him in a bit of a pickle because he can't really kill a creep to get away with it or get rid of it. And there was no tusk there for what could have been a kill. Those ice shards were terrible. If they meant to kill the Axe. I think now he has a spin, though, so it's a bit harder to actually murder him. He does have low armor still, which Face takes advantage of. And open wounds can deal with a spin easily. In the sense that open wounds heals you more than the spin can hurt you. Here on the middle lane, the Viper, of course, is missing a couple levels to actually be the harassing force that he plans to be. With another Toxin. Oh, nice Curse Crown. That will actually stop Doggo. The Snowball hits Ice Shards as well, prepare him for that, but not perfect Ice Shards, doesn't really matter. The first blood will still be going for the Dark Willow. A Dark Willow who will now be slightly harassed by the Axe. Proceed to go untouchable. Hit Samurai with the open wounds. They have another chance, an open chance at Samurai. They need a way to actually stop him, though. The Tusk was far away. And despite him having 5 stars with the Magic Stick and a Mango, he decided to play this a bit safer. I am not honestly loving how Shadow's playing this Tusk. I think he can play a bit more aggressively against his Axe. I think they are not that experienced against an Axe that has Battle Hunger at level 1. It actually makes him relatively weaker at level 1 in terms of, you know, the survival aspect against a Lifestealer. So they're playing a bit too safely against an Axe that doesn't have much to him, really. Berserker's Call is the only thing that actually helps him against a Lifestealer. He's even going for maxing Battle Hunger, which is a great build for harassment, but a terrible build for surviving ganks. So if you play aggressively, you should be able to punish this. And in fact, they're going to start to now. Samurai, and he came by the Curse Crown. No Berserker's Call just yet, so he's going to be hurt quite considerably as Scarlet Mage tries to kill this Dark Willow. TP's on the bottom ledge. TP's a bit too soon. Gets punished for it. As Samurai, the next target is Shadow, who is being left alone. Scarlet Mage able to get this kill. Magic Stick still available for Shadow. And beautiful body block there by Adzantik as a snowball. Hurts dogs, destroys him, even gets rid of the Battle Hunger damage. It doesn't even need to use the Magic Stick. Fantastic job there by the guys that started from the bottom, getting the kill on Doggo. Though I have to admit, of course, they do lose a support anyway, so it's not like they win that lane anyway. And Of course, I would just say that it was a nice body block, but a bit of a misclick anyway earlier with the Dark Willow TP. Chobo is also not winning his lane here in the middle lane, which is unfortunate for him. This Viper still looking for a bit more of that presence. He needs those levels to really hurt this Dragon Knight, but still no level on Nether Toxin. And it's hard to wonder if he's going to get it. I don't know if she actually knows that Nether Toxin is really good against a Dragon Knight that seemingly is maxing his passive. Chobo, left alone. Here comes the toss. He's an opportunity. Ice Shards. I should have taken the Viper with him, if anything. That was a very weird play. Very weird. Oh. Yeah, he's maxing poison attack. No level in that. Oh, never mind. Dark Willow comes from behind. Burn is gonna burn. Oh, maybe not. Keelan played his can too early. And will be punished by a Dragon Knight that has way too much tankiness. That Dragon Blood level 3, they seem to not be aware of it. They think it's a 2-1-2 build, maybe, because they're playing really aggressively against a Dragon Knight that cannot be killed. Really. Literally. He is God right now. Meanwhile, Shadow being harassed. Clock with battery assault. Shadow's going to try to get some space to the snowball. Now making it away, but Shadow, the battle hunger, slowing it down considerably, and now the battery assault catches him. He codes himself here into the ice shards, and of course that's not going to help at all because they have raged heroes. I can see through the wall of ice. As in the top lane, Relv also gets a kill onto the Troll Warlord. Does not seem like this game is going well for Star from the bottom. At least in the beginning, they seem to be suffering a considerable amount. And there's the tip from Kane to Relv for that solo kill. In the bottom lane, we're seeing Keelan kind of join in against Samurai. Samurai is trying to do the creep skipping, and it's actually successful in doing so. In comes the Scarlet Mage, hurts the creeps, no big deal. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned it was a best of 3, but it was a best of 2, so that was my bad. I believe the Joint League is best of 2, so it should be best of 2 rather. It being a league and all. Rolf is going to be getting another solo kill against Jay. At this point, I don't actually know why this is happening. This is the second solo kill we missed because I'm just not expecting it. Frankly, Beastmaster should not be solo dying as a Troll Warlord ever. So, not... okay. Shadow now hit by Battle Hunger, so that's going to be an easy kill. And they do not have Berserker's Call just yet. Jesus Christ, this sucks. Okay, at least the Willow is able to prevent some of the battery assault damage and use the cogs to her advantage. Hit the Clockwork. And where are the TPs? Nothing. They're actually just roaming around in their base with complete impunity. And now in the middle lane, Chobo seems like a perfect target. I mean, after all, they do not have a Dragon Tail. But they don't need it. In fact, Kane might just die here to the snowball. Okay, what are these plays? Magic Stick is available. Cholo heals back up. He might actually survive this. Fairy Fire is eaten, but it's not enough. That Breathe Fire actually kills him off. But here comes the reinforcements. The forms of Keelan, level 2 Dark Willow, who could not really do much, actually, especially without the Bramble Maze. A really useful ability for dealing both damage and stun at the same time. Yeah, should try it out sometime. Again, no TP here, just trying to keep him in place. Those ice shards don't actually hit anyone. Bramble Maze, though, stopping Samurai in his tracks. That's pretty good. As she evades some damage, escaping to the Shadow Realm. That's not bad. Samurai on the target of aggression. Another kill against Jay, but the Viper finally joins in. The objective is the opposing Green Dragon burn. Seems to be being burnt down to a crisp. Poisoned now by the Viper, and Chobo finally gets that kill that he was looking for after so very long. But man, was it hard. Chobo right now is, I mean, just second to the Dragon at 200 gold difference. Not that much. But if you compare the Lifestealer and the Troll Warlord, Lifestealer is just doing considerably worse than this Troll Warlord. His counterpart just dominating that lane, getting a lot of kills against Jay. And finally, we see a Berserker's Call level 1 on the axe as well. That's going to give him a bit of extra armor, so an escape capability. And more importantly, that ability to stun someone, you know, to actually be the initiator that you pick the axe for. And of course, the axe is going to be a bit behind in terms of farm. No items just yet, but that's typical to happen. I've seen these tier 2 matches, and most of them have relatively low GPNs anyway. Oh, in this middle lane, the Viper is now being harassed. Do they have more damage? Bramble Maze stops the DK. They kept the Dragon Tail? No, they do not. And the Viper still has the Magic Stick to cover himself back up, so they should be fine. However, he's taking a fair amount of damage. Going for this offensive build has not paid off for the Viper. And poor Chobo uses the Shrine plus the Salve to heal back up as soon as possible. Now they go for a smoke gank. I don't know if this idea might work out. In the top lane, Jay seems to be harassed yet again. Jay, who cannot catch a break, wants to go for the Primal Roar, can't find it. Instead, it's going to be just a lonely little Dark Willow coming in, trying to get the kill on Kayn. And he won't be able to because Scarlet Mage is behind her, and there's no Shadow Run to escape to. So this poor Dark Willow will be left alone. Can they kill her in time? They do have 1 second Bramble Maze, which might stop Doggo and the Magic Stick. Doggo now in the middle of Bramble Maze, caught out. Snowball won't actually be needed because he's caught out under the tower. As in the bottom lane, Lifesteal tries to get the kill onto Samurai, who does not have any items yet. Alzantique wants to pretend to be the Troll Warlord for a second, but that Battle Hunger allows the Axe to run himself away, as it is already level 2, gives a fair amount of movement speed, and a considerable movement slow as well. And now, with that open wounds to force the TP, TP's mid. That Viper has no reduction just yet, so the Dragon that keeps on healing is really hard to fight Viper. Or sorry, really hard to fight the Dragon Knight when you still have to fight against his passive, you know. Keelan is now running away from this Clockwork, trying to run for that room, but he doesn't get it. It's the Clockwork who's now invisible with Battery Assault, annoying Keelan out of this lane and out of this life incessantly. And these poor guys that start from the bottom just cannot catch a break. They're being danced around, they're being played around. They're like carrots in a little kid's plate. Right now, they're just being played around with and never actually being eaten. Not able to get those kills. Cho finally destroying the Dragon in the middle lane, but at the expense of his own tusk. Tries to get Samurai, does get him in the process. Now going against Kayn. Bramble Maze helping out. Too many creeps around. Barriers are not effective. Kayn goes down. Doggo might also die. It's an ultra kill for Chobo, who turns this around by literally spitting poison onto his enemies' faces. And now you know what to do. This is an advice for real life. In real life, if you don't like someone and if, you know, just kicking you down, if your boss is just being a real old meanie and he's just thumping down at you, just spit in his face. You know, spit some poison in his face preferably. Make sure not to swallow it. And boom, your problems will probably be solved. Either that or, you know, you go to jail for murder because you're spitting acid in someone's face. But that doesn't really matter because at that point you've already made a decision and you have to stick with it because you're a man. Exactly like this Viper did. 1k lead now in their favor is working really nicely for them. Now Shadow Realm allows Dark Willow to escape this. It does have the Bramble Maze. A lot of magical damage coming out. This Logger might die, but no. Dark Willow has too low HP to actually withstand all the damage the enemy team was putting out for him. Snowball in the top lane. Aims to take advantage of this Primal Roar, but Tusk goes in alone. What was the hope, Jay? Just trying to get that blind off? Maybe? What are you doing here? Seems like they're very confused. Jay still has the Primal Roar again. Does he want to get extra damage into Rolf? They seem confused. Do we initiate? Do we not? Do we initiate? Do we not? There it is. Primal Roar, finally. He played a bit too aggressively. Clara comes in. There's not the Ice Shard. Snowball is available. And Jay does not get caught in it, which is a really big issue here. At least the fear hurts both them. The axes, no need for them as Jay hits the Clockwork swiftly while he was trying to run away. Samurai does get the taunt, but at the expense of a stun. Plus all the damage for the Dark Willow, who starts healing back up thanks to the Tusk. And this poor axe will not be able to survive this bout of magical damage. 2 die, 3 in total, thanks to this great Primal Roar usage and a bit of overconfidence from the Troll Warlord. Now Burn fighting his opposing dragon. The Viper is not going to let him turn out. Fake dragon, come back here, says Chobo, as he tries to eliminate those that are not from his kind in a very supremacist kind of xenophobic way. Does not matter. Viper's okay, and he's just the one true dragon, the one true green dragon at the very least. Won't be as mad as soon as DK hits the level 12. And of course, in this situation, Chobo's just trying to push the DK out of the lane, trying to keep his farm above his, which is very, very important as a Viper, as you don't really farm as fast as the DK, and get that Dragon Lance that's so very needed. That Hurricane Pike, such a very good item in this game, as I was explaining earlier. The only way you can get rid of the Troll Warlord when he comes for you. A Troll Warlord, by the way, has decided to go for Mask and Madness. Oh, rage, quick rage actually, though, cannot silence in time, and that's a dead Scarlet Mage. Some fried chicken for dinner. As in the bottom lane, we see Keelan walking about. He did spot the Clockwork, but says, why kill the Clockwork? You know, fairies and robots just don't fit in the same story. Literally, actually. That's a very weird universe that Dota is in, to fit both creatures. Very odd. Alright, Chobo sees Bird. Oh, that hook shot. Barely missing Chobo. And Chobo appreciates that he got away there, so he just backs off. But Doggo does go down the bottom lane. Oh, open wounds allows for an easy kill to Samurai. Berserker's Call might save him, but there's a lot of magical damage anyway. TP does not complete. Even with that 40 extra armor, the damage from the Dark Willow is just too much. Bedlam, a ridiculously powerful skill that puts enemies to bed. I guess that's why it's called Bedlam. Burn, again, saving himself with the passive. No Nether Toxin just yet. Chobo is really not aware that Nether Toxin takes away the armor, I guess. Or just doesn't really care that much. The Fear, though, will solve the Clockwork, and they can actually fight him pretty aggressively. Clockwork is dead now, with a Snowball coming in that will not stop Burn or anyone, really. And they just want to take this tower. The Dragon Lance trying to take advantage of the fact that Viper can actually hit farther than the tower can hit. And let's see if they manage to. Now Burn, again, the target. Nether Toxin ready. Look how quickly he goes down now. He doesn't get that regen anymore, so Nether Toxin will actually start to make a considerable difference. Please, though. Get more levels of Nether Toxin. It's a fantastic skill, honestly. Actually, you only need the break, so you don't really care if you have more than one level, but it should have been an earlier level of it. One single level of Nether Toxin is already enough, really. I mean, it even gives magic resistance reduction, which is another area that people don't even touch on, this ridiculously OP skill. Like, at 50 damage per second, right, over 5 seconds, there's 250 magical damage, but if you consider, oh no, 8 seconds, sorry, so it's, I was looking at the cooldown because, you know, I thought that the cooldown of the skill would be actually larger than the duration. But it's 400 magical damage, which is obviously not that much in an area, unless you keep them for that long, but that's absurd. But that's 400 pure damage if you consider the fact that it's magical resistance taken away, which is pretty ridiculous in an area. With a 5-second cooldown, also getting a break off, which stops both the stun on the Troll Warlord, the regen on the Dragon Knight, and the spinning on the axe. I mean, what else do you want? It's a fantastic skill. And with only one level, you already get the break, which is fantastic. And obviously, the 10% magic reduction, magic resistance reduction is already good enough for the Viper to deal some damage, poison attack, and Viper Strike. Let's not forget the Viper's main source of damage early on is actually not physical anymore, ever since they moved away the Nether Toxin and poison attack. So, now they're going to go bot limb. I'm going to find Samurai. Oh, that TP will not complete Samurai. Snowball from the back as there's a fight between a Witch and a Mage. Seems like the Dark Magic wins yet again. They try to keep Burn in place, by the way. Jay, who has just used up his Bramble Roar, you know, just again to keep him in place. He still has that boar. Snowball will be coming in and blinking to give the vision. Now Chobo joins in. Lifestealer is also very close by using the Infesta. And this Dragon Knight has nowhere to go. Spins in place. Spins to hell. Started from the bottom now with a 7k lead. Cannot say they really started from the bottom anymore, you know. And with this, they're going to start to go down onto some towers. Take the tier 1. Take the tier 2. Let's see if they can in time. The axe is close by, but what can he really do? Yeah, the second he gets close to them, close enough for an open wound, he just becomes vulnerable, right? And no blink dagger just on this axe, right? Which shows their weakness. They do find the Troll Warlord. That Cursed Crown will actually help the... There's no way she can get away. Yes, she can. No problem. Okay, there's still going to be a Clockwork behind. With Battery Assault, in comes the Snowball from the Tusk. Actually screws over the Ice Shards, puts him really close to the Roshan, which might condemn him. He gets rooted down by the Bramble Maze, and they get the kill! They get the kill almost haphazardly, but the Troll Warlord actually goes down. It was all planned out from the beginning. That Roshan helped with those bashes. They knew, they calculated with the stars, using their own power of mathematics, how many times the Roshan was going to stun per minute, you know, based on the average calculations, and they knew that if every minute of Dota he had stunned this many amount of times, this minute he's going to do the same amount as well, and with those general statistics, they nahazed their way into a Roshan triple stun, I would say. And then they proceed to kill him with the urn and, of course, the Bramble Maze. Meanwhile, Scarlet Mage, in a much more simpler, less mathematical way, just gets caught out. Boom, boom. Primal Split. Primal Roar. And with the Shadow Realm, they're able to just finish off this weak and annoying burn. As the Lifestealer in the bottom lane will find an axe and sees a succulent stake in front of him, decides to go and attack him. Who's going to try to TP? I think he's going to be successful, though. The Berserker's Call is good to save him. Actually, might have died there. I'm not entirely sure, huh? He did switch the targets a bit too early, but he might have died. I think he should have at least tried it till the end. It seemed quite close. Obviously, his damage was diminishing, but it was up there. It was up there. Once the Berserker's Call armor faded, you can see Lifestealer just hits really, really hard. Maybe you should consider going for a Maelstrom, this Lifestealer, like a Mjolnir, just to deal a bit of magical damage for the axe to not TP in his face. Or I guess just a Basher. Basher is the best of both worlds. And now, with this, the tower in the top lane will fall. Beastmaster taking advantage of this. 200 gold going their way. That's fantastic. Start from the bottom. Will now decide to go to this mid lane tower. Ideally. And Doggo, okay. Hey, Doggo. How was life, dude? Primal roared while he wasn't even looking at his character. What unfortunate circumstances. Seems like Hellhounds just don't have much of a chance against these guys, you know? Start from the bottom, just absolute domination. They're playing better, have more coordination, they know how to execute their drafts. Now, they're going to go for these towers in the middle lane. That Troll Warden, like I said, did not work out as well as they hoped. And he's not getting that pushing power they were expecting last time. The towers are starting to fall, and this Beastmaster is helping the Lifestealer hit harder and harder. A silence to the Beastmaster, there's Berserker's Call from behind, hookshot as well. They stop, to some degree, this Dark Willow and the Lifestealer, but the Infest has actually not come out in time, so Lifestealer does go down, but Ro follows in his footsteps. Now the Viper is the only thing left alive here against the Dragon Knight. What Dragon is stronger? Seems like Kane is going to go down to the Viper, and Chobo is just hitting hard whatever he encounters, not too bothered by anything. A supporting cast a bit better. The Berserker's Call there will actually not help the Axe, who won't be able to sustain the nether toxin damage, and with that, a GG will actually be called after this team wipe. Start from the bottom, much more confident, and they just manage to bring down Hellhounds easily. After a successful game yesterday against Rebirth Esports, Start from the bottom gets an easy 2-0, 20 minutes in the second match. Surprising performance by them. Let's see if they can continue their streak in the coming games. My name's been DSwordfish. I have been your caster for today. Hope you've enjoyed the cast. It's been a pleasure casting for you guys. And if you haven't enjoyed it, feel free to tell me why. If you have, of course, feel free to go for my Twitter. And then you'll see, you know, whatever else I cast and the VODs as well. That said, guys, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you maybe tomorrow or the day after, whenever I can, with some more JDL Division 2. Actually, Monday is probably the day I'm coming back, because it's the day I actually have my computer back. So I'll see you guys then. Hope you enjoy till then. It's been a pleasure, and until next time.